ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ। ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਗੈਸਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ। ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰਸ ਅਲਮਨੀ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ, ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਗੇਮ ਖੇਲੀ ਸੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚਿਰ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰਸ ਨਾਲ। ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਇਹਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ, ਇਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਐਥਲੀਟ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ। Butch, welcome today to the studio today.
Thanks for having me, Coach Hart.
Thank you. I want to talk about a few things about you. Let's go further back into why you chose to football back in the days.
That's a very good question for me. I chose football because, I was one of those kids that was a little confused and didn't know who I was.
Okay.
And my math teacher talked to me about playing football or doing something with sports to help me figure some things out. And he was very impactful for me and talked me into playing some sports, playing football. And I just, took him up on that because I trusted him. And that got me into playing some sports there.
Nice. How about like when you said it was more, you needed football more?
I did.
Growing up.
I did, 100%. Yeah, I was confused. So football started for me in the 9th grade. And I was a little confused kid. I wasn't the smartest kid. Had some athletic ability, but didn't really know who I was. I think my math teacher saw something in me and thought that football would be something that can help me figure out my life a little bit and figure out some things that I wanted to do. And so he talked me into playing. And by talking me into playing as a 9th grader, it gave me that sense of team, right? I started to meet more guys and more people, hanging out with more teammates. It gave me drive, right? Things I wanted to accomplish. It was the biggest impact in my life. And it just gave me a sense of purpose, and I think everyone needs a sense of purpose.
So you're talking about playing football at a very young age.
Right.
Which you have no idea what's going to entail for you.
Right.
Did you play community football too, or just high school football?
So when I was much younger, I played community football.
Okay.
And I'll just say over my years of high school, I was a safety and a running back. But when I played community football, I was a defensive lineman. And when I played community football, I was afraid of contact. And so if we had a 4th string defensive line, that was me, just one person.
Oh.
But I was playing, right? And so that got me into playing a little bit of sports, but really what took me to the next level was getting into that high school and having someone that believed in me and the coach that coached me on that.
I like with what you said, 4th string. 4th string meaning the sports खेलते हैं, तेरे first string हो game older than खेलते हैं, shape अच्छा game बहुत experience है, तेरे second string हो backup आ, तेरे 3rd string होंगे हैं, maybe few देखो दे और नहीं, तेरे 4th string very brand new, उन्हीं game खेली नहीं, वो सीखते हैं, अधे तो देखते हैं game, question पूछते हैं. So I just wanted to let people know the strings.
That's right, yeah.
Because the most important thing is people say, I want to go play for the Stampeders.
Right.
Or I want to go play in the NFL.
Right.
But we got to start somewhere.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Right. And so in most cases, we don't start at the top.
Yes.
Right. We start somewhere in the bottom or somewhere close to the bottom and we learn the process and we get better. We start to figure out who we are and what we want to play and what we want to do, and then we progress into something more.
There's a team here in Calgary. It's called the Calgary Bears.
Right.
And they start at Pee Wee Bantam.
Right.
And the biggest thing is at least a child can get plugged into a system.
Right.
I've learned even when I played football, I didn't play for the right reasons too.
Right.
I was told I was too fat.
Yeah.
I was told I need to go to shape.
Right.
But none of my parents came to any of their games. But then it comes down to for me, I got a sense of belonging.
Right.
Didn't know why these guys were 6 feet tall. But when you're only 4 feet tall, when you look up at them, stuff like
Right.
But then you realize as you play, you get more comfortable. As you get more comfortable, athletes practice every single day to get better.
Right.
When did you make? So you went from high school to community football. What about university?
Right. So out of high school, so again, I remember I was talking about I started off as a safety.
Yes.
Right? And so my first year I was a safety. Mm-hmm. The second year I was in high school, I was on varsity as a freshman. Mm-hmm. Second year I was a safety and a receiver. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then when we moved, went to a new school, I became a safety and then a running back. Right? And then I became more of a running back in my senior year. So through my activities and growing with football, it got me into university. So people started recognizing the talent that you have and coming to talk to you and starting to get offers to go play university football, which I played out of California. So
California.
Yeah, so I went to high school in California my sophomore and junior year, and then my junior and senior year, and then I got recruited to go to Idaho State University on a 4-year scholarship in Idaho, and that's how I made it over to university ball. But still, like we talked about, it's still a process.
Yes.
So when you start off, you can't think that you're going to be this great person or player to start with. You build and you build and you build, and it takes time for you to get to that position.
I want to talk about something else now. Scholarship.
Right.
Dedo nane shortia de kale de amateur खेल दे फिर high school जाओ दे फिर university जाओ दे sometimes they nana बहुत good at sports ले और उन्हें scholarship मिल सकता है or free rider. Do you want to just touch base on what a scholarship is and what doors it opened?
It does. So through sports, there are opportunities for scholarships, even in Canada. And the doors it opens for me, it gives you an opportunity to get an education at a cheaper cost, right? Because they're paying some money for you for books or school or room and board or any of those type of things to help you get an education. It's highly important that you take advantage of that. For me, coming from the U.S. and the States, in my scenario, mine was a full ride scholarship. And so that covered off my room and board, my food, school, everything that had to do with school, covered off everything. What I see sometimes with student athletes is they don't take advantage of that opportunity. You should feel privileged to be able to have the opportunity for someone to pay for some of your schooling and take advantage of that schooling. And so that scholarship provided that for me.
You also said something, as myself who played football and who also coached a lot of kids through my time, as coaches, we call them student athletes. Then there's also the other athlete student.
Right.
Do you want to share a little bit on
Yes,
athlete
yes.
students?
I've seen a lot of athlete students, but you really want to be a student athlete because less than 1% of kids playing ball make it to pro level. So what's your backup plan, right? And so your backup plan should be the opportunity you have to get an education through playing football and then using that as leverage for you in your life as you move on in your career. An athlete that's a student is someone that's not taking their education seriously. And so they're more worried about being the top dog in their sport compared to being a student. That catches up with you over time, right? And so I always preach student first, athlete should be second.
Student athlete gives you the option B.
That's right.
Athlete student gives you the only one option.
One option, that's it.
Right? And then it's what if? I could have gone further. I could have done this.
Right.
We push education, number one. Number two, we push sports because we always want athletes to realize, hey, there's life after sports too.
Right.
Now, as you went to, so when did you enter what everybody wants to enter? Your first professional.
Yeah.
And how did it feel?
Yeah, so I was supposed to get drafted when I came out of university, and I didn't get drafted. right? And so then you start to think, what's your plan B? I was lucky enough that I had 28 teams call me after the draft to see if I wanted to come and try out for an NFL team. I ended up choosing the Cleveland Browns. So when I was a kid, my dad and I used to sit at the edge of the bed or on the couch, and we'd watch the Pittsburgh Steelers play, and I'd watch them play the Browns all the time. So I knew all of the key guys that played, like there were Hall of Famers on that team.
Yes.
And so I chose the Cleveland Browns. And so I had a tryout in the NFL with the Cleveland Browns. All those Hall of Famers that I used to watch on TV were there. And so now, me as a rookie and a kid, I'm going up against Hall of Famers that I used to watch on the edge of my bed with my dad, right? That's a huge experience. Was it the hardest thing I've ever done in my life? Yes, right? Because you're competing every day from 6 a.m. until midnight, right? You're competing weeks and weeks on end against Hall of Famers, right? And so when we talk about that 1%, you can kind of get an idea of what that might look like. So my first experience when I left and when I was let go from the Cleveland Browns was I can do anything. Because it was the hardest experience I went through, and I made it through it. And now I'm like, what's next? I can do whatever there is next, right? But through life, as we talk about in high school, and as I grew in the process, progression, that got me to that point and got me through it.
So you got let go from the Cleveland Browns. How did you end up playing for the
Calgary Stampeders?
That horse.
The horse,
that
yes,
you're wearing right there.
So I was when I was let go, I went back to university and I was taking some classes. I was down on the field training, right? Because we always talk about practice,
Yes.
right? If it's your dream, don't give up on your dream, right? And so even though there's hiccups and bumps in the road, I still continue on trying to fulfill that dream.
Yes.
So I'm on the field practicing and running and lifting, and one of my old coaches comes downstairs and he says, "Hey, Butch, there's a phone call for me." And I'm like, okay. He goes, "It's a professional team." So I go upstairs and I grab the phone, and it's the Calgary Stampeders. And they say, "Hey, we've been looking for you. We want you to come up and play for us." And I said, "There's 2 games left in the year, and you want me to come up?" I go, "What kind of look am I going to get from that?" And so I said, "I will sign with the Calgary Stampeders for next year, in the year after." And usually it's a 2-year contract.
Okay.
And so that's how I ended up with the Calgary Stampeders.
Now, let people know, being from Cleveland Browns,
Right.
NFL system,
Right.
coming to the CFL system.
Right.
How has that changed for you to play for a Canadian team?
For me, it was easy because, the field was bigger, longer and wider, and I was a 4.3 540, so I was pretty fast. So making the transition to a system that's fast and a field that's wider was a little easier for me. And again, like I said before, with the Cleveland Browns going through that process of something that is that difficult for an NFL team, and leaving there and knowing, that I can go through anything, it made the whole process easier for me. I would actually say that Coach Larry Kuharich was our coach at the time, and he keeps stats on if you dropped a ball, if you missed a pass, if you missed an assignment, if you missed a block, like any of those things, and he'll mark down a negative if it was negative. And so through that whole camp with the Stampeders, I had 1 drop pass, that was it. So coming through, like I said, the Cleveland Browns process and going through something that difficult, it made it easier for me to get through the next level.
This question is a big question. Did you play with this guy, initials DJ?
Initials DJ.
Dwayne Johnson?
No, DJ. No. Yeah.
I know.
No, he was after me.
He was after you.
Yes.
Stuff like that.
Yes.
Because the thing is, I know the reason why I brought that name up is because his story came out.
Yeah.
He played for the Miami Hurricanes. I know you have some teammates that did play with him.
I sure do. Yeah.
Right.
I sure do. Yeah.
So it tells you it's an opportunity.
It is.
it may not always go how you said, you play football, or you rather play hockey, or you rather play whatever sport. When you get that opportunity, you come, then you realize you get cut.
Right.
Right? But that's where plan B comes in.
Yeah.
Right? Look where and also I've also looked at this too. A lot of the wrestlers have played Canadian football too.
Right.
At one point in their life before they got recognized.
Right.
So it's always having an option B plan stuff like that, right?
And I will say that to go on through all that process and being good enough to play, and then for someone to tell you you can't, that is very hard for any player, right? And so that was very difficult for someone to come to me and say, hey, we're going to let you go. You're not good enough, or injured enough, or you're injured too many times. That type of stuff is difficult and hard to take.
It also will go into mental health.
It does.
Right? When you were let go of the Cleveland Browns, you're probably like mental health that went through stuff like that, right? Do you want to hear a little about that?
Yeah, I would say the Cleveland Browns was a bit of a different one because I was going against Hall of Famers. I knew it was going to be a tough draw. I knew by the end of it, I knew how good I was, and I'm just like anybody else. You can have your favorite player and see them and want to compete like they can, but they're human just like you and I.
Yes.
Their opportunities may have been different, or they may have something that's a little bit better than what you have. That's all there really is, right? But heart and drive is important. So Cleveland was different. Cleveland gave me a sense of positive mental, because it helped me understand that I'm good enough, that I can do this. I'm strong enough mentally and physically, right? It may not have been just the right opportunity.
Yes.
Calgary was different. So when I got let go from Calgary, that one was different because I felt I was good enough. I felt great. And then all of a sudden someone's telling me I'm not, right? So that part was hard. And so the mental aspect of that, having the right people around you is very important. And so that helped me get through that process and understanding, hey, no, this is who I am. This is another bump in the road. How am I going to overcome that bump in the road? And then you just overcome it.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. This year is a very special year. 2026 Grey Cup.
That's right.
As alumni, how does it feel being ambassador?
So I look at it this way, even as an alumni. So me as a player, I can't be who I am without the fans.
Yes.
So everything I do as an alumni is an opportunity to give back to the fans for giving me the opportunity to play in front of them. Being an ambassador is the same thing to me, right? So we get the Grey Cup in our city, and so now we get to share that with our fans. And now as a Stampeder alumni, I get to give back to that community and give back to my friends.
Thank you for sharing that. Now I just want to touch base, life after sports.
Right.
What do you do now?
Yeah, so when we talk about teamwork, helping, part of it is helping others. I spent a lot of time in banking, but I just see an opportunity to help people that struggle. And so I help them with financing, and I help them with finding a home and qualifying and being able to get into a home. It's the biggest purchase you probably have in your life. And so when I look out there, I see, that some people may not have the opportunity to talk to the right people. I want to be that right person. And so I just want to give people an opportunity to talk to someone they can trust and help them find the right opportunity and right mortgage for them.
Do you have an email that you might want to share with the crowd?
Sure.
If they want to contact with you, maybe just let them know what that email is.
Right. Yeah. It's pretty simple. It's mortgages@butchcaston.ca.
Thank you for sharing that. Is there any last message that from the story that you shared, something that really resonates with you that you can share with the audience?
Oh, that's a hard question, Art.
That's why I answered it. That's why I gave it to you.
Oh man, for me, it's one of those. When you hear the story, you never give up. You push forward. What's your plan B? Right? And so I think that's highly important. I even talk to my kids about that. What's your plan B? This is what you want to do. That's great. That's fantastic. What's the next thing? And I think that's important. If I'm talking to kids, student, athlete would be the most important thing for me.
Thank you for sharing that. This isn't probably your hardest thing. You were also my mentor for the coin toss too, right? I had to have an option B too, right? So
you need an option B.
We always need an option A. So आज सी स्टोरी शोगानी सीगी तेरे लाइफ अब तेरे प्लेयर खेलिया सेगा होन फिर आफ्टर रिटायरमेंट की करदा या any भी also involved होना या तेरे 2026 Grey Cup होनी है November 8 ਨੂੰ ਆਪਾਂ ਸਾਰੇ ਮਿਲ ਕੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਵੱਡਾ ਫੈਸਟੀਵਲ ਕਰੀਏ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਸਤਿ ਸ਼੍ਰੀ ਅਕਾਲ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਪੈਸ਼ਲ ਗੈਸਟ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਆ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰ ਤੋਂ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰ ਫੁੱਟਬਾਲ ਟੀਮ ਦੇ ਇਹ ਹੈਗਾ ਆ ਪ੍ਰੈਜ਼ੀਡੈਂਟ ਆਫ ਦ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰਸ ਅਲਮਨੀ ਐਸੋਸੀਏਸ਼ਨ ਮੀਨਿੰਗ ਇਨ ਗੇਮ ਖੇਲੀ ਸੀ ਬਹੁਤ ਚੈਟ ਸਟੈਂਪੀਡਰਸ ਨਾਲ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ ਇਹਦੀ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਪੁੱਛਣੇ ਆ ਜਦੋਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਮਗਰੋਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਐਂਡ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਆ ਇਹ ਕਿੱਦਾਂ ਸਪੋਰਟਸ ਐਥਲੀਟ ਟ੍ਰਾਂਜੀਸ਼ਨ ਕਰਦੇ ਆ Butch, welcome today to the studio today.
Thanks for having me, Coach Hart.
Thank you. I want to talk about a few things about you. Let's go further back into why you chose to football back in the days.
That's a very good question for me. I chose football because, you know, I was one of those kids that was a little confused and didn't know who I was.
Okay.
And my math teacher talked to me about playing football or doing something with sports to help me figure some things out. And I, you know, he was very impactful for me. And